Listen, this segment is being brought to you by the COG Equity Podcast. That's our podcast we do on Monday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about all things with church, equity, scandals, interviews with ministers, and a lot that's going on in the denomination, the Pentecostal, traditional Pentecostal denomination, the Church of God, but also Church of God in Christ and other things. That's on Monday nights. On wherever you podcast are here on this platform, Monday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And also soon, starting in 2025, it will be on the Daily Gospel Network. Daily Gospel Network, so stay tuned for information about that, and you're going to be blessed by that. You won't always see the Diva on there because, you know, the Diva keeps a little spice in the church folk. They won't be the head of that too much, but it's okay. That's okay. That's why we have this podcast.
Baby, if you know like I know, you keep me a whoa.
They'll be emailing saying, is she saying no, she not. Are you listen? Are you saying? Do you know Jesus? Do you know him? Anyway, let me stop. I'm not gonna preach it. Listen, now talking about people, black women in leadership. We have another. I call her my fanny pack. That's what I call her. I call her my fanny pack. That's my fanny pack. I call her my fanny pack. And let's see what's happening. She's not had some. She hasn't had a good week.
This lady has ruined her whole reputation over what? I hope the D was. I hope that vitamin D was worth it.
Oh, Nathan Wade. You know Lionel from Lionel Media calls him the garage door lover because you know when she wasn't living in her house, she was staying at that other place. Her friend's place, and he had a garage open. He would drive his car in and just push the little thing in the garage door and then walk on in the condo, 9, 10, 30, 11 o'clock at night, and then leaving at 4:30 in the morning, going back home to his wife, who raised his children, sacrificed and raised his children as a homemaker, But anyway, let's talk about her because she ended up being disqualified this past week. Here, let me give you some background. The Trump case there, the election fraud case, election interference case, whatever, she decided to try it as a RICO case with like 15 people. Okay. And she got hung up and she hired her lover, who was married, Nathan Wade, as the special prosecutor. And mind you, he only did family law and other kind of stuff. He never did anything like this. So come to find out, they were having meetings at the White House prior to, and all this kind of the DOJ, which they were hiding, that came out later. He got subpoenaed by Congress a few months ago, and at first he tried to avoid the subpoena. Now, how are you a lawyer, and the whole world know you're subpoenaed, and the federal marshals can't find you? So right there, you're asking, was the vitamin D good? I'm asking, boy, what's wrong with you? You had a federal, the whole world knew he had a federal subpoena to show up in Congress on this date. And he missed the date because they couldn't find it. They had to send the federal marshals to find him. So he testified. He testified under oath in private. He didn't do it openly. And let's probably say if he had some sense, he didn't do like he did on the witness stand in Fulton County. He probably told the truth because he wanted to go to prison. So he probably turned state witness on it. So now what happened with that is they subpoenaed her records, all her communication records, which I think, as a public official, should be public record.
Open to the public.
Right. So they subpoenaed her record because they want to see was there coercion and collusion between her, the DOJ, and the White House, the Democratic Party, because she did have meetings with the vice president's office and at the White House, and so did he. But on the stand, she denied it. Okay. Well, Miss Fanny said, I don't have to turn it over. Oh, you bad. You don't have to turn it. Okay, you don't have to turn it over. So the Georgia Supreme Court, whatever that governing board, who manages all the lawyers in the state and all the law, they disqualified her from the case. Now, here's another piece. I'm going to show you that tape in this moment. Here's the other piece to that. Because of her insubordination, if you will, and because of her refusal to cooperate, she could end up being sanctioned. She could be disbarred. She could be criminally charged because she every time she's been asked to do something, she hasn't done it, which gives the connotation. I don't know. I really don't know because nobody knows. It looks like she's trying to hide something. Because here's the deal. If she colluded beforehand and then she brought the charges, it looks like, okay, this was just politically, whether they did it or not, it looks like it was politically motivated. And if she was doing that, that means she's lied under oath because she was acting. Everybody should get a fair chance.
Right.
So, nonetheless, this is what happened. This is where we are with that. And this is the story. There, the breaking news just the other day on CNN. And watch this. And you can tell that Jim Acosta was not too happy.
We begin this hour with breaking news just into CNN. The Georgia prosecutor leading the state's election interference case against President-elect Donald Trump is now disqualified. CNN's Caitlin Polance is here with more. Caitlin, what can you tell us about this? This is just coming in the last several minutes. This is a big development.
A big development, and a big development that Donald Trump has wanted for a long time. That case against him in Georgia, the criminal case where it's accusing him and several others of a racketeering conspiracy related to the 2020 election, it's already been paused. Now it's not even backburnered. This is a case that will be dead in the water because the Georgia Court of Appeals is now saying that Fani Willis, the leader of the prosecution against Donald Trump, the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, she should be disqualified from being able to bring that case. The Georgia Court of Appeals is saying that it's a significant appearance of impropriety caused by the conduct of a public prosecutor. That is Willis, how she behaved, how she was speaking about the case, about Trump publicly, about how she was having a relationship with the top prosecutor that was concealed in this, a man named Nathan Wade. All of that previously, the trial level judge had looked at and said, Fani Willis can stay on this case. We're not dismissing the indictment, but the Court of Appeals is now taking another look and saying, no, the trial judge was wrong. Fani Willis should be disqualified from continuing to lead this case. It would be a long process, or it will be a long process to replace her, which is why I say this case is dead in the water now without Fani Willis, the person who was leading this case against Donald Trump in Fulton County. And just to keep tabs on how many cases there are against Donald Trump criminally, the other two in federal court, January 6th, and classified documents, those are dismissed. And then the additional case in New York City, where he was set to be sentenced, that sentencing is now not happening. So as Donald Trump enters the presidency, each of these courts that is handling a criminal case is essentially removing that issue from him to have to deal with in any period of time in the near future.
Wow.
All right, Caitlin Polance. Thanks for that added perspective. Let me bring in CNN.
All right, you heard it there. You heard it there. She was disqualified from the case. Now, what will happen is that they will give the case to, they will submit it for another prosecutor, district attorney somewhere in Georgia to handle the case, if they so desire to. But at this case, Diva, there's not many outside of Cobb County. There aren't many other jurisdictions in Georgia, 167 counties in Georgia that have the even financial and manpower and capacity to handle a case with 12 or 13 or 14 defendants. Talk to me.
Had fake Fani Willis been a woman of integrity and a woman by her business, standing on business, this would have been taken care of long before the election could have even gotten started. So it bothers me that now at the end all be all is now this guy's going to end up walking away unscathed because she screwed up, all because she wanted to get some vitamin D from somebody's husband. I just don't understand. Here's another woman of color that could have showed what it was like to be in power and have integrity and lead by example out there chasing the D.
Is it that, or was that just a side product? Because I guess because Tiffany Henyard, and then the mayor of New Orleans, she had an affair with it. Okay, well, you might be onto something. You might be onto something.
I mean, it's, you know what? This is what I think. You keep seeing this: black girls rock, black girls rock. I
Black
think
girl
as a
magic.
woman of color, what?
Black girl magic.
I think, yeah, Black girl Malik. I think as a woman of color that you have an extra added responsibility to these young Black girls to handle yourself in such a way. Be very Michelle Obama-esque. You know what I'm saying? Be very Diane Carroll-esque. No, we're not gonna say Oprah. Because everybody's looking to pick apart Black girls rock or Black Lives Matter or whatever. Women rule. Come on. Like, you were supposed to be that person for these young ladies. I keep hitting my hand. It bothers me.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. And I'll be honest with you, very disappointing because you brought up Black Lives Matters, and the national organization who was led by Patrice Cullors and a couple of other women. And they got what, $90-100 million,
right,
in 4 houses, and hired all their kinfolk and boyfriends and baby daddies and baby mamas and all this stuff, and ain't put a child through college and nothing like that. So there again, Black women in leadership. I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but they've been getting these opportunities in this hour of the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they're dropping the ball, unfortunately. Now, you get mad with me, whatever case, they're dropping the ball. They're dropping the ball. They're dropping the ball. Let's start going. We can start going out of this. We could actually do about 4, 5, 6 podcasts. Look at the former city commissioner there in Orlando. Remember Fireman Pete? What's her name?
What's his name? That ain't Fireman Pete. It's something Bill. Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah, Fire Marshal Bill.
She's stealing from an old lady. Like, there's a special place in hell for her.
And she had that blonde hair too.
See, it must be a sickness. Watch, fake Fani gonna end up with it too. Watch, she gonna get her hair cut real short.
but seriously, for real. But if you notice it, there's something there. That's why I was saying, Diva, it's more than just the sexual prowess and all the power. There's something about they're getting into these positions where then it's like, I'm untouchable. And because they feel like I'm untouchable, because the first thing they do is, well, I'm Black. And you'll tell me, yeah, you black, you green, you purple. If you do wrong, you're wrong. You're wrong, right. But these things are shifting. Things are shifting. And I'm about to shift the conversation because we were going to talk about domestic violence with men. But one of the things about it, a lot of times women, especially Black women, always felt like they can get off and get by. Right. So boom, they got him. And then the woman kind of but now
they're hemming and hawing. Right.
But now women, if you do the same thing a man does, you should pay the price.
Real Talk with the RN Diva and Pastor Robert podcast. Now streaming on X and wherever you podcast. Let's go.